Stylish Naija YouTube channel. I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. I appreciate the love, the support that I've gotten. I actually do. Thank you so much. I actually don't take it for granted. Thank you for all of the thumbs up. So these are thumbs up for all of my subscribers. Thank you so much. Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to cut a high-low peplum. So high-low peplums are a peplum that the fronts are high while the back are low. You can use them for dresses, you can use them for gowns, you can use them for tops, you can use them for sleeves. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to actually cut it, and it is a very simple process. So I'm going to make this video so simple that even as a beginner, you would be able to cut this high-low peplum. And then okay, so registration is ongoing for our online classes. So if you want to register for our online classes, so you can see my number scrolling through the screen. You can send me a message on WhatsApp, and then I'll send you all the details of the classes that we actually have available. We have 6 classes presently, so send me a message. And then you can follow me on all of my social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, all at Stylish Naija. So let's just get started. Okay, so for this kind of high-low peplum, you are going to need about between 4 to 5 yards of fabric. That for the picture that I showed you, you can see that it is 3 steps. But the one I'm going to do just 2 steps. So for if you are going to do 2 steps, you are going to need about 4 yards. If it is a peplum blouse, you are going to need about 3 yards of fabric. That's if you are going to be doing one high-low. But if you are going to be doing two, you are going to need about 3.5 yards of fabric. So the measurement that I'm going to be using, the length that I'm going to use 20 inches for my length. And then that's the longest part, which is the back. And then the front, I'm going to use 14 inches for the front. And then the other one on top, that's the one on top, is going to be about 7 inches or 8 inches. So I'm going to, once I place it on it, I'll know how to reduce it. So it's not going to be more than 7 to 8 inches. That's the second one, the top one. So now I'm going to fold out my fabric, and then let's cut out the first one. Okay, so I'm going to cut out the first peplum. So the waist of my peplum, that's the round part, for those of you that don't know, I'm going to be using 25 inches. That's for me to get my radius. So it's going to be 25 inches. So that 25 inches, what I'm going to do, I'm going to divide it with my for peplum formula. So there's actually a standard formula, which is 6.28. So I'm not using the freehand, so I'm using the formula pattern. 6.28 is actually a standard measurement. So what you are going to do, for instance, if your waist, maybe let me just use peplum for example, if your round peplum waist is 30 inches, all you have to do is you add your 2 inches for your zipper allowance to it, that's 32. And that 32, you are going to divide it by 6.28. So whatever you get, that is what you are going to place on this point for you to know how this round part of your peplum. So I'm just trying to bring it to a very low layman level for those of you that don't know, so you understand properly. And then you cut it round like this, because most times when people still come and they tell me that they have problem cutting peplum, it's not supposed to be so. That's just the truth. Because like for my subscribers, I have different peplum videos on my channel, so, and they are very simple and easy. It is not a difficult thing at all. So what I'm going to do, so I'm using 25. So when you divide 25 by 6.28, I'm going to have 3.9. So that 3.9, I'm just going to take my tape like this. I'll come, so my fabric is folded into 4, so you could see it. It's folded into 4, and then I have the measurement that I have about 25 inches here right now. I told you that I'm going to be using 20 inches. So I'm going to come to this place now. I'm going to measure approximately 4 inches, because it is 3.9. So I'll measure 3.9 like this. I'm just going to keep taking it from the tip like this. So I'm just trying to bring it so you see it. So I'll measure the 3.9 round like this. So when you finish measuring the 3 point now, you are now going to measure the length of your, I'll measure the length. So you see my 20 inches. So I'm going to now measure my 20 inches now for my peplum. So I'll measure each round. So I'm going to cut out now this part, which is my radius, which you also call your waist or your round. So I'll cut it out like this. So most times when I'm cutting, I'll just cut it a little bit above, and then I'll cut the down part. Okay, so after cutting, there's something I'm going to do because this is a high-low peplum. I'm going to notch the four edges. I'm going to notch that two parts like this, and then I'll notch these two parts also. So I'm going to cut the second one now. So the second one, like I told you, I'm using everything. The radius is going to be the same. The only thing is going to be the length. So like I told you initially, I said I was going to use between 8 and 9 inches. So you see 8 inches is just perfect. So I'm going to use 8 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead and then I'll cut it out just the same way I cut out this big one. Okay, so I finished cutting the second one. So I'm going to open it up now. Okay, so we have it together. So now I'm just going to leave the bigger one. Let's work on the small one. So I'm going to put notches on the four edges. And then I'm going to open this up. So this part, I'm just going to highlight it because this is the center. You know it's divided into four. This is the center. So what we are going to do now for this kind of peplum, you are going to determine how much drop you want at the back. That's how big you want the back to be. So this part, this is the back. This part is the back. This is the, so you can actually choose any part. So I'm going to use this part as my back, and then this part is going to be the front part. So for this, what you are going to do, you are going to determine how much height you actually want. So for this, what I'm going to do on this part, I'm going to come, okay, this is the back part. On from this back part, I'm just going to measure. You can actually do this randomly. I'm going to measure up to about 12 or 13 inches from the down part. You can do as much, if you are using, for the bigger peplum, you can do as much as 20 inches like this. So this part, this is where I'm going to slide it up to. So for this, you can determine that. Another easy way for you to determine where to stop from the center, that's from the center, you can just decide to measure about 5 or 6 inches like this. You can use 5 inches, you can use 6 inches. So you know that you are going to stop. That's when you are creating your high low, that's the curve. You are going to stop it here. When you get to this part, you are going to blend it in. You can decide to come in more if you want the back to be slimmer. That's if you want the peplum, that's the drop at the back. If you want it to be slimmer, you can come in more. But if you don't want it to be slimmer, if you still want boldness at the down, you can just use 5 inches from this point. So this is the center, this is the front, and then this is the back. So I just want you to understand. So what you are going to do from this part, you are going to determine how high you want it to be. So from this part, I'm just going to use about 6 inches. And then as I'm measuring it, I'll be dropping it. As I'm curving my hand, I'll be dropping it by one inch. That's you see I use 6 inches. Here I'll come to 7, here I'll come to 8. And then when I get to this part, that's almost the center, I'll come to 9. And then as I get to this part, getting close to where I want to stop it, I'll come to 10. and then on the last part I'll come to 11. So any of the peplum, any no matter the size of the peplum, so you can drop it by 1 inch. So I hope you understand what I did. So on this part like this, I dropped by 1 inch, like this 1 inch. That's I used 6 inch, and then I came to this point, I used 7. I just keep rotating my tape. As I got to this point, I used 8. I got to the center, I used 9, and then I got to this part, I used 10, and then on this part you use 11. So and then I'm going to now curve it like this just to form the shape. So this is where I'm blending it into. If you want to blend more, you can blend more, but I'll blend it into this part like this. So I want you to note the blending. It's not going to just come in so sharp. So you're just going to blend it. Let it, when it gets to this part, let it just slide into that part nicely. So I'm cutting. So in the cutting, I'm not going to cut from that part. I'm going to cut from this part. So when you want to cut, you can decide to cut below 1 inch, and then after everything you check if it is okay. You can decide to reduce it, but if it is not okay, and then you leave it that way. So I'll just take it like this. So this is the center. I'll just blend it. So you see after the center, you see what is coming out. You see that it is just little. I'm just trying to explain so you will know it is not a difficult cut. So you just blend it into that part. Depends on where you actually want to stop. So but just make sure that is not on the center part, as it should go above the center part. So for this part, so I'm looking at it that is a little bit long, so I'm still going to blend. I'll just blend more like this. So when I'm done, I'll open it and check to make sure that I like. So you see what I have here now. So you see what I have. So you see how it is looking. So if you feel that this side is too long, you can still decide to come in more. So I'm going to check properly to make sure that I like. So I think I like the drop that I have here. I think I like the drop. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut out the bigger one. Also, I'll use the same way. I'll cut out the bigger one. So this is the bigger one. So I'm cutting it out now. So this is the center. I'm just going to elongate it in. That's extend it. So I'm going to take a look at it if I like. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to place it on my mannequin. So for this, you don't need to open, since it is a for a gown, you actually don't need to open it on the zipper allowance part. You don't need to open it like this on this zipper allowance part. So you're just going to sew it round on the dress. But if it is a peplum on this line, so you see where I have this cut, you are going to open it down straight to form, well, for a peplum, because you are going to be because you are going to be attaching a zipper to the back. So I'm just trying to check what I have. So I think it is okay. So I'm going to place them on the mannequin now for you to see. Okay, so at the end of the day, so you see what we have. So you see how it is looking. So for this kind of paper, if you want to achieve that standing result like what the picture we have, what you are going to do is when you cut out your peplum, you are going to cut out your lining exactly the same way you cut out the high-low peplum. That's how you are going to cut out your high-low lining, and then you are going to use interfacing. So you can decide to use any interfacing of your choice, but I would advise you to use like a gum stay or a paper stay that is stiff, or a peplum stay, and then you are going to iron it on the lining and then on the fabric, and then after ironing you are going to sew it just the way you sew peplum and torn, and then you achieve the standing result on the picture. So it's just a simple process. Just cut everything the same, iron your stay on it, and then sew, and then you attach round. So thank you so much. If you find this video helpful, I would appreciate if you hit on the like button to make me know you appreciate what I did. So if you have not subscribed to my channel, please, I would appreciate if you hit on the subscribe button. So thank you so much. I'll see you in my next video. God bless you and have a blessed day.